Hey, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let me show you how to smoke the juiciest barbecue chicken ever. I thought what we would do on today's show is really inexpensive, classic barbecue items. So I grew up on what I call classic barbecue chicken. So a chicken roasted to perfection that is super juicy and finished with a barbecue sauce. The great thing about it, buying whole chicken is the cheapest way to buy chicken, but this 5-pound chicken was only $7. So that's great for a weeknight meal. But if you really want to take it to the next level, you've got to cook it to the right internal temperature, just like your Thanksgiving turkeys, but you need to brine it so that it's like super juicy. So we're starting out with a brine today. You guys definitely know our bird baptism brine. I always say it's our #1 product in the fall. You're all using it on your Thanksgiving turkeys, but there's nothing poultry specific about this product. You can actually brine anything with it, and I always brine my chicken with it, whether it's whole chicken, boneless chicken thighs. You can brine fish with it, anything you want. And so you guys know I'm a huge fan of imparting moisture into your poultry when you're gonna cook it over a hot fire. So how do we make our brine? Great news, you don't need a full bag for chicken like you do turkey at Thanksgiving. So this will last a while. So I take about a cup of it, pour it into some hot water, heat it up just until it dissolves, so close or to a simmer, stir that up, and then I dump that into a food safe container. I add some ice to it because you want to reduce the temperature of that brine. You don't want to put anything in a hot brine. And then you can just add enough water to the container so that you can fully submerge your protein, in this case, a chicken. So we've made this brine, we've got it in a food safe container, and then I'm gonna drop this chicken in whole. I mentioned in the intro, we are going to spatchcock this, which is the best way to cook poultry. You can spatchcock it before or after the brine, it makes no difference. So I'm gonna submerge this in here. We actually did one last night as well, so I've got one already ready to go, but I'm gonna submerge this one, take it to the fridge, and grab the one that we made last night. Got our chicken here that we did last night. It's not gonna hurt this to go overnight, but really important step, you need to rinse it off and pat it dry so that it's not too salty. So I'm gonna head over to the sink and do that. Chicken's all dried off, I'm aproned up. So let's spatchcock this. Why would we do this? Well, spatchcocking poultry will lay this bird down more flat, and so it's gonna cook more evenly, and it's actually going to cook quicker. I recommend you get some poultry shears. That's what these are. They come apart and go in your dishwasher. You can also do this with a knife. I just find this is easier, and you're just gonna find the backbone here, and you're gonna cut along both sides of it. And it's really a lot easier than when you're trying to spatchcock a turkey. And appreciate you guys really loving the video that we put out last week, being able to cook with the legend, Mr. Robert Earl Keen, and have him sing a couple songs here on the video. It made for the longest Meat Church video that we have ever put out, but by far and away the absolute coolest. So thank you guys for checking that out. We thought we'd do something cool today too. We thought we'd do a little giveaway. So if you stick around towards the end of the video, we're actually gonna give away one of the, or maybe several, of our Headley and Bennett custom aprons. It's gonna be easy to win. So tell you how to do that a little bit later. All right, so remove the backbone. I saved this to make stock, but just set it aside. We won't need it for cooking today. And then what we're gonna do here is, a lot of people, by the way, will just go ahead and cook this just like this. They will lay this flat and kind of crush it down and cook it, which is completely fine to do. I like to take this one step further and remove this keel bone right here in the middle. I'll take my chef knife and just make a little cut, and it kind of has a natural stop, like it's, boom, you're done. Peel it open to get my finger kind of under that little membrane, and I want to remove that keel bone, and you can start to see it right there. And the reason I do that is because when we're done cooking, I can actually just cut right through the chicken. And so that's just a preference that I have. But take your finger, run it alongside that little membrane, And now you'll see that is nice and exposed, and it's very easy to pull out. Now, if you've ever done this with a turkey at Thanksgiving, it's much more difficult. So just put a little pressure down, peel it out just like this. One nice piece, discard that. Now we have a very flat chicken, as you can see. Easy peasy. All right, I'm not gonna run over and wash my hand, but I'm gonna wipe it off with a towel. Really, I just like to hear the glove police jump in here and tell me how I just touched one of my bottles with a poultry hand, but good thing I'm sitting on about 5 million more of these in my warehouse. So I'm going to season the underside of this chicken first. And today I'm using my honey bacon. I'm influenced by the fact that this past week in the Meat Church Congregation Facebook group, somebody said, I think honey bacon is the most underrated seasoning you have. And I hadn't talked about this in a long time, but we used to have a bacon seasoning. And one day I was sitting in a conference room and I was like, what could I mix that with? And we ended up doing a limited time seasoning where we mixed our honey hog and our bacon, and it became honey bacon. Well, it started outselling our bacon seasoning. So we had a little redundancy in our offering, and I ended up sunsetting bacon at one point, but this stuff is delicious on pork and poultry. So we're gonna do that today. We've seasoned the underneath side. Now we need to season the top side. Eat with your eyes first. You wanna season nice and evenly, kind of across the top. We didn't use a binder today because, again, we're going to classic barbecue. You know, when I'm roasting a chicken at night for the family and I'm using like a more savory seasoning, I would apply a mayonnaise binder light to help with browning. You certainly could do that in this case. It's a moisture barrier. And again, like I said, also adds some nice browning. So now we got our chicken looking good. Glove police are going absolutely crazy over me touching that bottle. Here's a little tip I like to give folks. I like to pin my chicken skins. This comes back from my competition days. So when you cook a chicken at a slightly higher temperature, the skin can kind of pull back. So if you care about the appearance, one thing that you can do is you can take some toothpicks and you can pin underneath this. You can just kind of press it into the meat to kind of hold it on there. Optional step, but it's a way to really deliver kind of some prettier poultry. So especially back here on the back where the skin was already split when I opened it up, I'll pin underneath there. And I'm gonna let this sit for, you know, just a few minutes, probably 15, and then we're gonna talk about how we're cooking it. Let's talk about cooking this. You could do this in your oven, you could do it in a smoker. We're doing it today in a Traeger pellet grill. I think pellet grills make the absolute prettiest poultry. I have said that for years, so that's why we're doing this today. Now, the goal would be to cook this to around 160 degrees. I actually go slightly under to keep it nice and juicy. So you could smoke at a lower temperature, you could roast at a very high temperature. We're gonna go 325, which is kind of right in the middle of the road where this will cook long enough to get a little bit of a smoky flavor, but also since I'm going higher than a traditional barbecue smoking temperature of 225, 250, it'll cook a little quicker. Could certainly go over 400, you know, if you want to. Be prepared for the skin to pull back, but you know, if you don't care what it looks like, knock yourself out. I certainly love the taste of doing something a little hotter. We're going on a Traeger with Meat Church pellets, so oak and hickory. I always say wood is the first ingredient in your cook, so wood preference is regional and personal to people. A lot of people in Texas love a mesquite. I think hickory is an amazing all-purpose. If you want lighter smoke, go with a pecan, or if you don't really dig a lot of smoke flavor, then go with a fruit wood like a cherry or an apple, or even like an alder wood. So 325 over here, I'm gonna open it up, we're gonna put it in. I'm not actually gonna do anything to this. If the wingtips or legs start to get dark, I'll put a little foil on it, but we're gonna cook it till it's about 158, and then we're gonna sauce it. The way we're gonna make this a classic barbecue chicken is to sauce it with barbecue sauce at the end. I'm gonna use my Holy Cola barbecue sauce, but when I sauce poultry, I actually like to thin the sauce out a bit. This is just a preference thing, so you don't have to do this. Use your favorite barbecue sauce, but what I do is add a little bit of honey or a pepper jelly, depending on the flavor profile that you want. I use Burleson's honey because it's a Waxahachie honey packer run by 5th generation, super cool. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm just gonna slide this little cast iron pot in to heat it up a little bit, and we'll stir it at the end and kind of drizzle the chicken, because we're gonna apply this at the very, very end of the cook. So the sauce is nice and hot. You can see the consistency. I like to drizzle it on with a brush. That way it looks really pretty. Kind of painstaking, takes a little time, but you can certainly pour it on if you prefer. Chicken's been cooking for 1 hour and 15 minutes. It just hit 158 in the breast, and I'm pulling it there. It'll carry over, cook a few more degrees, but cooking it to that temperature will make sure that it remains juicy and not overcooked. We sauced it around 155 or so, left it on there for 8 to 10 minutes or something like that. So checked it with an infrared thermometer. Now we're gonna pull it off. Whew, looks super pretty. All right. Don't forget to pull the toothpicks out of it, otherwise somebody's gonna have a really bad day when they eat that. But looks really pretty, as you can see. I'll go ahead and pull the first couple out. I'll get the back ones out in just a minute. But that's like super beautiful. I mean, again, classic barbecue chicken. We gotta give this apron away, by the way. So here's what you gotta do. If in the comments, comment the word spatchcock, easily your favorite word in the barbecue language. You can leave your normal comment, but just make sure you put the word spatchcock in there somewhere. And then what we will do is we will give away, we'll give you your choice. If we've got 3 aprons, we'll give you your choice of apron. So at the end of the video week, we release these videos on Wednesday. By the time the next video ends, the following Wednesday, which is a delicious tomahawk steak grilled over charcoal, we will go back in the comments, we will pick a winner, and we will pin it to the top. So, all right, I'm gonna go get myself a beer and let this cool off, and then we'll dig into it. All right, we've let this big, juicy, voluptuous chicken rest. And so now it's time to jump in and see how we did. So we removed that keel bone. So watch this. We can just do this like nice, easy little cut down the middle. Now you've got 2 chicken halves, just nice and easy. Woo, look at that. You can tell it's juicy. So I'm a dark meat guy. Let's get over here and trying to protect the prettiness of this thing. And let's remove this thigh and leg. Bam, looks so good. Just see all that juice in there. Separate the leg out here. So we got a thigh and a leg. I'm just gonna get in here and just get me a bite. Here we go. Damn. I ain't mad at that. By the way, crazy juicy, but the barbecue sauce on, I'm sure it's all over me. You can't beat that. That's just like the growing up, when you say barbecue, if I went and, Googled barbecue items, like barbecue chicken to me has gotta be one of the top things that you can make. I can't believe we've actually never done a video on just like straightforward barbecue chicken, but that is freaking delicious. And I always have to save all of the breast meat for my wife and my daughter, but I'll at least get into that a little bit to see how it is. So good, so juicy. Great thing, you see the skin didn't just come flying right off. So cooking it at 325, it didn't make crispy skin, but it's not like super rubbery like a 225 degree chicken. That's banging. I'm a big fan. For $7 plus the stuff it took to make it, man, you could put this in the weeknight playlist. Just easy to make. What I would do this week, Wednesday night when this comes out, I'd buy chicken, I'd put it in the brine, and I'd cook it Thursday or Friday. Whatever you want to do. Well, that's it for this one. Nice and easy. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, don't forget to tune in next week. We've got a massive, juicy tomahawk steak where we're going to talk about the different ways you can season it with various seasonings that we have. I always get a lot of questions on what's your favorite steak seasoning. Well, next week, you're going to see, I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences in lump charcoal and briquette charcoal as we cook over our fuel on a live fire. And if you don't want to grill it over a live fire, you can certainly do it in whatever you got. So be sure you like and subscribe. See you guys next week.